We have the pleasure of welcoming Glen Gilmore to our Engati interview Engage series today. I am Nishita Goyal from Engati team, and I'm going to begin with a quick introduction of Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform, which is available across 14 channels with 25,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. We run the Engati blog and the video channel, which receives more than 300,000 visitors annually and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally approximately every month. And moving on to our guest right now, ranked near the top of Forbes list of top 50 social media influencers 2 years in a row, Glen, once called a man of action by Time magazine, is an educator and social media strategist. Author of Social Media Law for Business, Glen is an instructor of digital marketing, crisis communications, and social media law at Rutgers University. Recently also named by INC as one of the top 30 IoT experts, Glen is also recognized as an influencer in social business, content marketing, and wearable technology. Welcome, Glen. We're thrilled to have you on our series today.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be with you here today.
Great. So I'll begin with my first question. You have been given the title of Man of Action by Time magazine. What instances in your life do you think have contributed for the title that has been conferred upon you?
Time magazine had done a story about me while I was mayor of Hamilton, a city of about 90,000 people, when it became the center of the anthrax crisis in America, which was a crisis in which anthrax, which is extremely deadly, was placed into our mail postal system, and as a consequence, the post offices throughout the country, in essence, became places of fear because of the letters that were placed into the stream. That one letter that opened, and if it had this anthrax dust in it, could kill a lot of people. And when it was discovered that all the letters had gone through the post office in my city, I immediately turned to the federal government and the state government to ask, what are your plans to make sure that the 1,000 people who work there, it's a very large regional distribution center, aren't going to die? And they had no plan. And so as the mayor of the city, I reached out to 2 of our area hospitals and asked for their assistance. And the long and short of it is that when the federal and state government really didn't respond, we set up healthcare systems that provided around-the-clock Cipro, which is the only antidote to this deadly bioterrorism spore. And in the process, they say we may have saved a lot of lives. So it was about us taking action, but a team of people. It wasn't just me. It was me reaching out to people who responded when I asked for help. And that's, I think, ultimately the important lesson is that the biggest projects require teamwork and a diverse team to make things happen right.
That's truly inspiring to hear, Glen.
Thank you.
So since you mentioned about your tenure by serving as a mayor, I have a question on that. So since you have served like 2 terms of being a mayor at Hamilton, that's like a city of near 100,000 people, how was your experience? And apart from this, was there any other change that you could bring about in the city?
It's exciting. As a mayor, you are the chief executive, and so you really do have a lot of power, and a lot of power by way of creating a vision and, again, enlisting others to make that happen. I realize that for all of us, the notion of preservation of open space becomes an urgent matter because the urge to build and to construct is so substantial everywhere. And so I was pleased to announce when I became mayor that I wanted to preserve more open space for our community. And in my 8 years, we preserved more open space than in all the terms of mayors before me. And that was an important achievement. I also looked at our senior citizen population and realized that they needed to have a much more vital, robust center where they could gather and not just have inexpensive meals, but have classes in how to use computers. Have classes in yoga and to recognize that as people get older, they should still be given the opportunity to learn more and do more. And I think when it comes down to what government does best, it should provide for the safety of its citizens, but it should also have an inspiring effect so that we can make sure that all of our citizens have exciting lives and exciting futures.
Okay, that's great. I think it must be an amazing journey out there.
It is a fun position to have. Although politics I could do without, but the opportunity to do public service is a great privilege, despite the roughness of politics.
That's amazing. Okay, I've also seen that you've been a top influencer in the field of travel. How do you think AI or conversational agents can be leveraged in the field of travel to facilitate customer service?
Artificial intelligence has an important role to play everywhere, and particularly within the travel space. What AI does is it has the ability to understand deeply what our preferences are, and through the weaving chatbots with artificial intelligence, we can make travel, which at times in the past used to be a painful process, a joyful process. I think that for all of us, we realize that if we get advertising that really is catered to our interests, they don't become intrusions, but they become things that we look forward to seeing. So AI used right and chatbots used right for the travel space will make it a more pleasurable experience from the start to the finish. And I think that that's good for tourism, and it's good for those who understand that the economic value that tourism and travel brings to all of our communities throughout the world.
That's great. And being in the chatbot industry, we do see a lot of ask out there for using chatbots as, for helping out their own customers to ease in the booking, or even providing as a basic customer service for replanning of a trip or something like that. I think it has a lot of potential in that field.
I also think too, as we see the larger adoption of voice technologies, and it makes it so much easier for people to get accustomed to using a chatbot, because ultimately that's what voice tech is. And I think you're going to see a much greater adoption and ease of use with chatbots weaving in voice technology.
That's correct. I think first, initially, it was people were all about texting, but now the world is moving all about talking. People don't want to take the pain of actually typing and getting answers. They just want to speak and expect somebody like a Siri or Alexa to respond back with voice.
I think you're right.
So, in this world full of noise, how do you think can actually businesses leverage AI?
I think businesses can leverage AI by looking at examples of Netflix or Spotify or Amazon that listen deeply to what it is their customers want, and so that you can have a far greater personalization. And that's what consumers everywhere want. We want information that's relevant to us. We want it 24/7, when we want it, how we want it, where we want it. Those are the key phrases when we talk about digital marketing, and that omni-channel, the one channel. Wherever we go, we want to be able to have ease of access to information. So artificial intelligence will help companies by helping them understand how to deliver better the products and services to customers and potential customers in a far more effective way. So it's about creating new customers as well as retaining old customers.
Okay, that's great. So, also, I just wanted to add to that question. So, we always talk about using AI to make sure that businesses can make their marketing messages heard. How do you think that would collaborate to?
Uh, Again, I think it's a matter of the AI having access to big data that understands far better the trends in whatever the particular industry might be, and so it's able to take an enormous amount of information and make sense out of that information. And so for companies, it requires having either in-house talent or bringing in AI talent that can help it understand how to take that data and make it actionable.
That's correct. Okay, So, another question, how can businesses leverage social media in the time of this ongoing pandemic to sustain and build a concrete presence in the long run?
Social media has a powerful opportunity right now to do a lot of social good. And it begins with listening companies. So oftentimes when I work with different companies, they want to know, well, what's the latest, greatest dashboard that has all kinds of beautiful graphs and the like, and how to automate things. But what they oftentimes fail to do is to take that information and put the human effort into understanding what it really means. And so I think during this time more than ever, it's about carefully looking at the data that you have access to, closely listening to what your customers are saying, and making the information you share useful and helpful. We don't want to be interrupted in our social media. We want people to join the conversation. And so companies need to get better at being more human and providing information that has a business purpose to it, but in a way that's useful and fun and ultimately helpful as well.
So basically, you're trying to say that relating social cause with a purpose of your business can actually help them sustain and will help them relate to the customers' issues that they're facing right now.
There's no question about it. I think as we look at trends, we see that people are insisting more that companies be part of the community, be part of the solution, and we do have so many choices. And as we make those choices, social good becomes one of the considerations. I think for us as well. And so as businesses look to communicate through social media, I think they need to pause periodically to see what it is their customers truly want, truly care about, to make sure as they're engaging their customers, they're engaging in ways and in channels and with messages that resonate with their communities.
So it's all about know your customers, correct, and then give the right message to them.
Absolutely, well said. Yes.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. So what advice would you actually give to someone on leveraging the technology at a startup level to actually build like a winning business out there?
At a startup level, or really at any level, it really is about having a talented team together. And if you don't have expertise in data science, for example, you need to figure out a way to bring that talent in, or to tap into that talent as an external resource. I think if your aim is to make a startup into something really big, you need to make sure that you have diversity in your team so that you reach out to the community and you reflect the community you're hoping to become a part of with your startup. But as to the particular issue of technology, it's a matter of making sure that you have the right talent. I've been in meetings with startups, and they've talked about using big data and AI. And I've asked, well, who in the room is that big data, that AI expert? And I know that there was no one in that room, and there was really no plan to bring in that talent. It's important to understand what are your limitations and how are you going to overcome your limitations.
Yeah, that's correct. So we see a lot of companies actually chasing AI and big data right now because that's like call of the hour. But how do we actually, for the end customers, how do you think it's actually beneficial for the end customers to actually use it and try adapting it?
Well, I think when we look at, for example, a service like Netflix
Yeah.
or Spotify, they have an uncanny ability to share with us next uh, new movies, new songs that we may not have heard about, but when we watch them, when we listen to them, we love them because of the uncanny ability to have AI look at data, and from data make projections about our interests that are pretty much on the mark. And so I think companies do realize that AI and big data are important to making their businesses far more effective. But then again, the next disconnect comes in when they ask, do we have that talent, and how are we going to get that talent?
That's right. So this is just out of curiosity, and when I was reading about you, you have studied law, you have been a mayor of a city, you are a social media expert, an IoT influencer. So what do you think is the one common string that connects all of them? Like, how would you say that this is one piece that connects all of those things?
I think it's a passion in people, because even when one thinks about technology, for example, a lot of my friends will talk about the fact that I'm on the top list of certain technology areas because I don't have that real background to stand with others who are much more conversant in that field. But I have a passion for how technology impacts people, and that's really what launched me on my journey of emerging technologies, because I do see that our world is changing dramatically. Social media has changed our world dramatically. Artificial intelligence, 5G, they all have the ability to connect us and to bring to scale better healthcare, better sustainability. And so the one thread that ties them all together is about connecting with people.
That's correct. It's, in the end, it's all about the people.
It is. It is. And at this difficult time that we find ourselves in, I think it's a moment for us to reflect on how important each one of us is, how important each one around us is, and hopefully it inspires each of us to do as much as we can to make it a better place for each of us. And I think that's the important opportunity for business, for people, which is to say, how do we do this pause right in a way that when we can breathe again a little more easily, we can say that we're on the path to making our business better, our community better, our world better, because that ultimately is what it's all about.
Yeah, it all contributes together. Okay.
Without a
Okay,
doubt.
moving on to my last question. Any other sound bites that you want to leave my viewers with?
I would just encourage them to share their passion. And in any success that I've had, it's really been about uh, sharing the things that I'm passionate about and realizing that I'm not so different than the rest of the world. And as I share what I think is important, it will resonate. And so wherever you are in the world, whether it's Mumbai, whether it's in Rome, whether it's in New York, share your passion, but reach out as you've done with our interview here today to people across the globe, because I think you'll find willing partners, and as you do, you'll bring the talent and diversity together that will give you a better opportunity to inspire others and to do great things. I hope.
That's great.
That'll be
I
it.
think this is a lovely insight for all the millennials out there who are trying to make something out of their career. And I think you just have to be passionate and ask. That's it.
Without a doubt, without a doubt, and I thank you for having asked me to join you here today. I'm usually in the U.S., but I'm here in Italy, and very grateful to be
Oh,
able to be in Mumbai with you today as well.
yeah, that's great. I hope you're all safe out there.
Uh, the good Lord willing, I hope so too. Thank you.
That's great. I think it was wonderful talking to you, and I appreciate your time and sharing your views with us. It was an enriching learning experience for me, and I hope this helps my viewers too.
Thank you so much. Look forward to us chatting again. Uh, be well, be safe, stay at home until further notice. Take care.
Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay positive.
Thank you so much. Be well. Bye bye.